County Board meeting is called to order. Can we please have the roll call? Supervisor, are you doing the roll call? Oh, okay. If we can please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Supervisor Powers.
Good and gracious Creator, we as humans enjoy dominion over all the earth. Let us strive for ever-increasing reverence for the mystery of life. Let us strive for fresh insights into the purposes for the human race, and let us strive for greater wisdom and determination in making provision for Earth's future. Amen.
Yeah, that would be great. Before we move the adoption of the agenda, we're going to have a quick swearing in of two supervisors that were unable to attend last week's meeting.
You can stay at your seats. So, do you want me to do the explanation first or the oath first?
Do their oath first.
Okay. Okay. Can you raise your right hands? And then when, if you've got your sheets, when I pause, then say your name. So I, having been elected to the office of County Board Supervisor District, swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Okay, I also need to note on your desk tonight, you all have 2 copies again of your official oaths. It was brought to our attention after the last meeting that some of them said appointed, and then we had some names that weren't right. So what I have done is corrected them, and because Judge Wolt swore you in, I really would like him to be able to sign these sheets. So if you can sign them and turn them both back in, and then we would get copies to you after that.
Okay. So just as a point of clarification, apparently Judge Wolt had indicated that you had all been, is that right, all? Been appointed, but in fact, you've been elected. The official oath rectifies that situation by saying you have been elected, but in terms of what the judge actually said based on the script that he was provided by as far as I'm concerned, it's a harmless error because it does say, which is the critical piece, you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Wisconsin, and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office to the best of your ability. Those are the critical words. The word elected maybe can, it's not a critical word as far as I'm concerned. It's a housekeeping detail. I know I did not go through the rigors of a race, but the critical words of supporting the Constitution and impartially discharging your duties still apply.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda? We have a motion and a second. Supervisor Dowling. Is there a second to the motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion to amend the agenda?
Yes, ma'am. We already have a motion and a second over there. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I would like to move Item N above item L so that our department heads could leave. They've been here since very early.
Is there discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Now we adopt the new agenda?
We are about to adopt the new agenda, correct, as amended. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Yep.
Can you please just communicate the change to the agenda one more time?
Yes. We are moving the consent agenda, which is N, as in Nancy, up above L, which is the election of standing committee officers. So N is inserted just above L on page 3 of 102.
Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome. Okay, at this time, we will take public comments. If anybody would like to address the county board, please raise your hand, be recognized, and then state your name and address at the microphone, and you will have 2 minutes. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Paul Sundquist. I live at 222 Hudson Avenue in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I would just like to say that, just an observation, if I might share with you, Winnebago County is a great place to live. And the reason Winnebago County is a great place to live is because some of the things that have happened and are happening in this board and what's happened right here, right now, and in the past. I think it's been a fantastic thing that this board has done. A case in point is like 30-some years ago when interest rates were through the ceiling. Winnebago County had half-prime loans for the communities for infrastructural development only. And because of that, they spent millions of dollars on buildings and businesses and brought thousands of jobs. And that's one of the reasons that Winnebago County, when it came to having a sales tax, we didn't need it. And to this day, people are still coming to this county because we don't have a county sales tax. So I must say thank you so much again. And I've known every county executive we've already had. I sat in your chair for over 20 years, and I want to say thank you to the new people that have come here. You're devoting your life and to this county, and I sure want to appreciate it because I know what you're going through because I've been there, seen it, and did it. But thank you so much, and may God bless and help you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Sundquist. Would anybody else like to address the board? I thought you were raising your hand for a moment. Okay. That section of the agenda is closed. Let's move on to G. Executive hints? Executive hints? I have to first read. So now we have a proclamation honoring the UW-Oshkosh Women's Gymnastic Team's National Collegiate Gymnastics Association Championship. I'd like to invite Executive Hintz, who is already up here, and the gymnastics team to somersault, Kobe, up to join everybody at the podium.
Thank you, Chairman Frisetto, and especially for the new members. You know, last year we started recognizing champions in Winnebago County. The Winneconne High School football team won a state football championship in the fall, and we recognized them. And the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh women's volleyball team won a national championship in December. And we've been able to follow that up with the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh gymnastics team. So tonight we have the honor of recognizing a team that has brought extraordinary pride to our community, the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh women's gymnastics team, for capturing the national championship, their 4th national championship in 5 years. What they've achieved goes beyond a title. It reflects discipline, resilience, and a standard of excellence that represents the very best of our community. And the leadership of Coach Lauren Karnitz and her staff really need to be recognized.
To compete at that level and finish on top is no small feat. These student athletes have shown what is possible when talent meets hard work and belief. These ladies come to Winnebago County from all over the country: Nebraska, Texas, Colorado, Pennsylvania, New York, California, and more, coast to coast. Border to border, these athletes are coming to Winnebago County to advance their athletic and academic careers, but they give so much back to the community, inspiring and teaching young athletes through camps, clinics, and trainings.
And so we are proud to recognize you tonight as national championships, and thank you for representing our community so well. And Coach, if you'd like to say a few words.
Well, I want to thank you all for allowing us to be here tonight, and I do have a 4-time Natty Championship shirt for you. So there you are.
You have to put that on
Gordon.
over.
Yeah, yeah. You'll have to wear it for the rest of tonight.
When I'm practicing my gymnastics.
Right, yes, absolutely. Honestly, you can stay in the stands and support us. It's
I've
it's
been
fine.
there. It's
Yeah.
It's
very
pretty
loud.
intense, you guys, I'll be honest.
It
It's a
is.
lot, it's intense cheering if you've ever been. My daughter's gone to your camp as well.
Yes, and it is. And I just want to say thank you. You know, I want to echo what this young man started the meeting with back there, that Winnebago County is an amazing place to be and live. I came up to this area from the Chicago suburbs, and I have not gone home. This is now my home. And there are many of these athletes that end up calling Winnebago County their home. And they stay here from wherever they came from in all the other states. Out of these ladies up here, there's only one from Wisconsin. And that is a testament to this area, this community, and how welcoming everybody in this community is to these athletes. Not only do we succeed in the gymnastics arena, they also achieved a 3.75 GPA first semester. And many of them are looking to go into the medical field, education, business, all these areas that are going to actually help other people. So not only do they help the community in being leaders for young children, they also help them in the hospitals, because many of them are actually there right now doing their clinicals. And so I thank all of you for continuing to push forward this community and make it better, so then I can promote and sell it to my future gymnasts, so then they can stay here and make it even stronger. So thank you, and thank you for recognizing us. Being a patient in the hospital, which does happen. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, communications from the county clerk.
Okay, thank you, everybody, and welcome back. I have resolutions from other counties that will be forwarded on to our legislative committee. One from Sawyer County regarding transportation resolution. Another one from Sawyer County, a resolution urging legislative action to address county funding challenges under Wisconsin's tax levy freeze. I have a notice of claim that will be referred to the Personnel and Finance Committee. A claim from Apex Truck Repair for damage to their septic tank riser from a Winnebago County highway snowplow truck. Another notice of claim from Progressive Insurance on behalf of Arthur Fernandez for damage to his vehicle from an accident with a Winnebago County public health vehicle. And then I have one petition for a zoning amendment that will be referred to the Planning and Zoning Committee. It's in the town of Nakaimai for Kurt Rose, Michelle Guckenberger to rezone from R8 to R2. And then Supervisor Bureau graciously shared the folder on your desk tonight has a slip for Robert's rules in there, and then we also have the county board rules in there. So if you want to use that and put it with your binders and just keep it for you to use. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any reports from committees, commissions, and boards? Alrighty, let's go move on to the county executive's report and appointments. Yep. Supervisor Dowling.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to make a brief comment for the record that I received 0 committee assignments, even though I requested a few. We have more than 40 open slots across the committees and 36 supervisors, so leaving an elected supervisor's role unassigned is not a reasonable workload decision. This also happened last year to Supervisor Nate Gustafson, and now it has happened again. I believe committee assignments should not be used to sideline elected officials. Thank you.
Executive Hens.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, everyone. Again, during my remarks each month, I try to give updates about what's been going on with the county and give my input on a couple agenda items. I wanted to briefly touch upon the approval of the budget amendment to purchase a replacement boiler for Parkview Health Center. One of the items is the replacement of a boiler at Parkview. The nursing home was constructed in 2008 and has 3 boilers. We expect to get about 20 years of life out of that boiler. And boiler number 2 experienced a boiler controller failure that needs to be replaced. The building can operate with 2 boilers under normal conditions, but with the remaining boilers nearing the end of their useful life, we felt it was important to move forward with this repair now. This decision was reviewed and approved by the Parkview Committee, Facilities and Property Management Committee, and the Personnel and Finance Committee, and I hope you'll approve it. The second item I just wanted to speak on briefly was to amend Ordinance Chapter 1111, Appendix A, the sanitarian fee schedule for 2026-2027. Updating the fee schedule. Our fee schedule reflects the county health department's mandate as an agent of the state of Wisconsin to license and inspect food, lodging, recreational, and other regulated establishments. Each year, the department reviews its actual program costs, including labor, training, vehicle use, operating costs, and indirect expenses, and adjusts the fees to ensure the licensing program remains financially self-supporting. This review showed that a modest average fee increase of about 2.5% is needed to keep pace with rising expenses, while certain categories such as tourist rooming houses require larger adjustments due to updated state administrative code requirements. Additionally, the state has increased the percentage of license fee reimbursement from 13% to 14%, which influences the total fee calculations. Most counties update these fees annually to comply with state rules, maintain cost neutrality, and avoid both underfunding the program and overcollecting beyond the state allowed 15% margin above program costs. Regular updates also ensure fees remain comparable with surrounding jurisdictions and reflect changes in establishment numbers, labor projections, and state fee structures. By recalibrating the fees each year, the county can continue providing timely inspections, meet state oversight requirements, and ensure the program remains sustainable without relying on general tax levy support. I have updates on 4 items that aren't on your agenda. First, I wanted to give you an update on the revolving loan fund request for proposal. One of the major achievements of the last board was taking a big step forward in addressing housing in the county, which is one of our 4 strategic pillars, by allocating $4.5 million to a revolving loan fund for housing. The county solicited proposals for the management of the revolving loan fund, and the resolution appropriating the funding required the proposals be evaluated by a group of staff and supervisors and have the recommended awardee be approved by the county board. 2 weeks ago, Chairman Forsetto joined staff for a review of the proposals. There were some outstanding questions the review team had, and we are collecting more information about the administrative costs of each proposal. We expect to be able to complete the evaluation of the proposal soon and have an agenda item at your May meeting to award the bid. The recent flooding has prompted a large multi-department response coordinated primarily through our emergency management department, with major roles played by public health, the sheriff's office, solid waste, and planning and zoning. County teams monitored water levels, coordinated resource deployment, communicated with municipalities, and supported residents through cleanup and recovery. While many communities in Outagamie and Wapaka County have returned home and are transitioning to recovery, our communities are still experiencing high water levels that are expected to continue to remain above the flood stage for the next week. I did want to give some of the highlights of our county work. Throughout early April, heavy rainfall and upstream flooding caused rising levels across the region, prompting monitoring and advisories. Obviously, what was happening in Shiacton and in New London happened earlier, but we knew it was going to come down the Wolf River. We began distributing through our emergency management director, Eric Rasmussen, weather briefings and updates from the Army Corps of Engineers as conditions evolved. The historic rainfall was causing widespread regional flooding, and Winnebago County responded to requests for support from those counties, distributing sandbags to Outagamie and Wapaka County and responding as needed to support them. Our county website was updated with flood resources and a banner for quick resident access. Sandbag requests increased dramatically both in support of neighboring county responses and in the Wolf River and northern part of our county. Sandbags have been distributed throughout the county as the flooding makes its way throughout the system. Cleanup kits from the Red Cross were requested and scheduled for distribution in affected towns. Emergency management scheduled Wolf River cleanup days Friday, May 1st, Saturday, May 2nd, and volunteers are being engaged through Volunteer Oshkosh and Volunteer Fox Cities organizations. A detailed plan for sandbag retrieval and disposal was developed. Bags that have come in contact with flood water should be disposed of in accordance with DNR recommendations. Public Health and Solid Waste drafted unified external messaging to provide clarity on cleanup guidance. Damage assessments were scheduled with Wisconsin Emergency Management for Monday, May 4th. The Planning and Zoning Department has established a new permit that's better suited to gain information about structural damages caused by the flooding. This permit will be issued in lieu of the normal zoning permit that would carry a $265 fee, and the county will not attach a fee to this permit. Public Health, using 211 data, began proactive outreach to households reporting mold or water contamination. So the Winnebago County's response to the flood involved coordinated daily work across emergency management, public health, solid waste, the sheriff's office, and planning and zoning. And as water levels rose, the county again distributed sandbags, cleanup kits, contacted outreach to residents, and built a countywide messaging and coordination framework using municipal briefings and SharePoint. Public health addressed mold and contamination risks, solid waste handled debris, special disposal, and reduced fee hauling. The sheriff's office managed no wake restrictions tied to resident safety, and planning and zoning established fee-free pathways for reconstruction. Cleanup events, damage assessments, and resident communications continue as water recede. But I use this as a reminder to go, talk about all the efforts that the county has done, but as a reminder to residents, of what county government's responsibility is and all the different factors and ways that we can make a difference. And some of those departments may not have been who you thought might be involved. But I've been, happy with the leadership that we've had. And I know we're not out of it. I know there's a lot of folks up in Wolf River wondering what's going to be happening next. We have a communication coming from planning and zoning explaining the requirements for repair that are, again, dictated by state and federal guidelines. And we're going to try to make it as easy for folks to be able to get back there with as much clarity as possible. I talked to the town chair yesterday, and again, we're doing everything possible, including waiving the zoning permit fee when they do apply to be able to do some of the repairs there. Sorry, guys. Winnebago Fox Campus. Almost a year ago, I guess a little over a year ago, my first day on the job, we purchased the UW Fox campus, but about 10 months ago, we took over the campus. This board made it a priority to be able to maintain the child care center, partnering with Menasha School District that is fully operational and maintained. We worked to reopen the Barlow Planetarium, which is fully operational. Completed a facility study to assess the property that we have, to start taking developers and folks through it. And we began working on reopening the Communication Arts Center and the Field House. During that time, we had communication with Faith Technologies, who presented a significant interest in looking at redeveloping the property for a national training center. We had a 3-month letter of intent to allow them to look exclusively at that. As you know, that didn't work out, but we, as soon as that was over with, we wanted to proceed with opening the campus as we work on our broader redevelopment strategy. Communities across Wisconsin have been dealing with how to best redevelop their campus. Marinette County was looking into a defense hub. Fond du Lac County made theirs largely a county facility, developed a little bit of housing, and Washington County is selling their campus to a private school. But throughout our, through the process, the goal has been develop a tax base, try to get some of the 43 acres back on the tax rolls so we can generate revenue for Winnebago County. This board has made, or the past board obviously made it a priority to preserve the cultural legacy of the campus. This board was very clear that maintaining the planetarium, the CAC, and the field house were important. And then we also wanted to create something meaningful for the community. We didn't just want to develop a car wash or a payday loan store on the property. We wanted to see something that added value, that either continued education or job training. And so, those are things that we maintain today. Today I've got 2 major updates for you on the campus, and as with many things in life, it's a mixed bag. So I'm going to start on the negative side of things. In early April, as we were being inundated with rain around the county, the campus began to experience flooding in the basement. We had water pooling up in the basement that ultimately affected the electrical switchgear. The fire alarm system was damaged by moisture and high heat. The boilers were exposed to high heat as well, and the piping insulation was damaged. The electrical switchgear was damaged to the point that power to the middle section of the campus was turned off at the utility source. Ironically, Faith Technologies was contacted to inspect the equipment for the extent of damage. During last week, Faith and the electrical testing company did further investigation, and they're in the process of composing a report with their findings along with options and costs. The basement has been dewatered and cleaned. Any additional equipment damage can't be assessed until the power is restored to the area. Since the Barlow section of the building received hot water from the affected boilers, a separate water heater is being installed to provide hot water to that area. But power, water, heat, and AC are available to the Barlow and the CAC field section and those areas remain operational. We do not know the full extent of the damage or what it's going to take to restore the full operational capacity of the campus, but we'll update the board and facilities committee as we learn more. Now let's forget the sour taste of that news. Today I was joined by Chairman Frisetto to announce at a press conference at the campus that we've reached a one-year agreement with the Wisconsin Entertainment Group venue partners to manage the CAC and the Field House. The Wisconsin Entertainment Group has been one of the most connected organizations to the previous user groups of the CAC, as well as the local arts community throughout the process. We engaged with 3 different management companies, and it was clear that the Wisconsin Entertainment Group was the best organization to partner with to preserve the cultural legacy of the campus. They are currently working with the Attic Theater, a group that used to see the CAC to become the theater group in residence. They're working with the concert band to be band in residence, and they've reached an agreement with Fox Valley Performance Volleyball, who will be a major tenant of the Field House. The community band is performing on May 8th, an illusionist is performing on May 4th, and Attic Theater will be forming there this spring, and I think they mentioned they have 3 shows booked and 2 more in the works. And I'm excited to see the theater and Field House reopen and have the previous tenants return and see the progress that the Wisconsin Entertainment Group has made to grow the arts community at the campus already. The current agreement has a revenue split between the Wisconsin Entertainment Group and Winnebago County. The county will receive 20% of the revenue from the operations. This is all revenue that is not included in the budget. So any revenue that comes from this in 2026 will be additional to any, what was budgeted, which was 0 in this case. We're doing this in a 1-year period because we're still determining the redevelopment of the rest of the campus. I was working with the consultant who did the redevelopment project for Thrivent up in Appleton, and this week we've been discussing in June a partnership with the Urban Land Institute to do what is a technical assistance panel for the campus, which would be a day and a half with 4 to 6 Fox Valley area real estate, finance experts to go through and do a real market assessment of what the best development, best use of the property could be, and as we work towards, how you take a 60-year campus with periods in there, 43 acres, redevelop some of the older parts, and try to preserve those things. So I'm presenting in the city of Menasha's comprehensive plan next week on Wednesday, but we've got, there was a lot of demand to get the arts back open. And we're gonna have people into the building, seeing the building, using the building. The hardest parts of the campus are gonna be trying to do the next steps. And I did actually hear from a developer today who was involved with the Mill on Main project in Oshkosh, because I went to the grand opening. And I said, if you love this waterfront, I've got 43 acres on 441 you might also be interested in. And they emailed me. So they want to see it. Lastly, if you remember after we talked in the last, in passing of the budget in October, I feel a lot of times government makes decisions in a budget, but they don't often look back on the decisions they made to see, how are we doing? Did we add those things? Were they effective? Did they make a difference? Where are we on those things? And it's been a little bit of a scramble, and I hope to build on this, but you should have received a spreadsheet on your desk that shows a summary of a lot of the budget items that were included in the 2026 budget. What we wanted to show the board was, on the updates to things that we said were important, and to give you an idea on where things are. Have we hired the people we said that we were going to hire? What kind of action has that made the difference? A lot of the things we said were going to be done to make a case. A lot of these items were presented in the budget kickoff in September. And on the left half of your sheet, you'll see that the initiatives are tied to our strategic plan, identifying both the pillar and goal that drives the initiative. The right half of the sheet gives us the overall status update, description of the progress to date, challenges, and any adjustments. We have around 100 budget updates accounted for in this document, and printing all this information makes the font pretty small. In fact, I had a problem with that too. And so we're also sending a PDF of this document to all of your emails. You also on your desk have a first quarter fund summary. This is a quarterly report we generally generate to track where we are on the fund level. You can review this and ask questions to my office. I just want to make one global comment on fund summaries. Some of our revenues or expenses come in chunks, so we don't often see smooth distribution quarter to quarter. Some of your expenses come at the beginning, some of your revenues come in the fourth quarter, and so it's not, why are we at 20% or 50% or we're only in the first quarter. For example, property tax revenue tends to come in a big chunk in January, so we're not necessarily expecting to see exactly 25% usage in this quarter. But feel free to reach out with any questions on these updates or provide feedback. It didn't turn out yet exactly how I want it. I think for quarter two, still working with departments on what is the best way we can kind of update the progress that we're making. I've really been challenging folks to evaluate things that we're doing so that we can, measure performance, use data for the decisions we're making, and justify the work that we're doing. But I'm also happy to take any questions on anything I discuss, since I'm probably getting pretty long.
Can't say, Supervisor Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. County Executive, the damages that happened on campus, on the UW campus, were any of those things covered by insurance, or we don't care about insurance, or is it all on us? What, the boilers, the water damage, the heat damage,
I got to get my hand signals from Department Head Elder. Yeah, we think, I got a thumbs up, so.
So it's covered, some of it's covered by insurance?
I think so. And again, we probably, because we can't get in there to assess all of the damage, but it was a mess.
Yeah.
Because we were calling it a sauna for a while, because you had a combination of heat and water that people couldn't go in.
Oh, yuck. Okay. Thank you.
Supervisor Hintz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Hintz, last term we gave you the power to make agreements that I believe expired at the end of the year. And I was just wondering, does this new agreement with Wisconsin Entertainment Group, is that going to be going through the approval process with the new facilities committee?
So the agreement that we just, with Wisconsin Entertainment Group, so as I understand it, I can do one-year agreements without board approval, which is one of the reasons we did a one-year agreement. And because the other, in the agreement, the purchase agreement from Outagamie County, the end date is, for the option to sell is June 30th, 2027. In order to get the place up and running, and because one of the challenges here is in talking with both developers and in the consultant who did Thrivent, they said you want to be cautious about doing a piecemeal approach to the development of the campus. In other words, I can rent the office to somebody, I can do, the theater, I can do the field house, and all of a sudden you've got a hodgepodge of something, which obviously it would have been great if Faith just said, we want to buy the whole campus. You and I were both looking forward to that. And so, on the one-year decision, I think part of that was also to recognize that we're still working on the broader redevelopment. And so how do you balance the pressure of the groups that want to get in there to perform, the community that wants to use the facility, and still work on the redevelopment? So I hope that sort of answers your question, or.
Well, I'm sure we'll be talking about that more even in committee,
Yeah,
so.
and I'm happy to come to facilities to discuss any, if you want to talk broader parts of the contract or anything.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Supervisor Buck, I swear I saw your name up there, and then it dropped out, but then by that time,
I'm back.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh.
Supervisor Buck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. County Executive Hintz, can you, will you be having the PowerPoint behind you again when you do your presentations? I just, that's always helpful as you're doing your presentations. Will that be coming back next month?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
It's been a busy few days, but no excuses. I try to be multimedia and pyrotechnics.
Okay, thank you. And then I guess this is a nice document. Can you point out maybe one or two efficiencies in here that kind of stick out to you?
Yeah.
Like you said, we approved the budget in the fall, and then I guess something that maybe surprised you, or just a high level on this.
I mean, for me, I told department heads after the budget that, I don't want to have the first quarter roll around and have positions unfilled, or, if we said we're requesting this to make a difference, to move the needle, let's do so. And, well, for instance, I mean, facilities hired 4 custodial FTEs. I think you know about that one because you were on the facilities committee where we, instead of outsourcing, brought them back in. I think if you ask the airport and solid waste and highway, having county staff doing those things has been more effective, more familiar, and more efficient in terms of what we ask our staff to be able to complete versus what we were getting from contracted services. And I think it allows us to be better able to manage a broader staff, given that we're now doing all county facilities versus having a split between some county facilities and others. I don't want to pick something too obtuse here. Obviously a big one, to me that we had advocated, but we had kept the grant-funded homeless eviction loss prevention program and added one. And if you look at just the first quarter numbers, the referrals to our HELP program, this is a program where we have caseworkers help people at risk of becoming homeless stay in their own homes. A lot of times it's a utility bill, a rent bill, something that is putting them in a position to be at risk of being evicted. We're seeing obviously continued stress on people facing that. And if you look at both the referrals and the number of payments, now when I say number of payments on behalf of clients increased 350%, that's not county payments. Those are payments with resources that we've been able to tap either from the United Way or the foundation or from some other groups to be able to assist people with what they need to be able to remain in their own homes. So we're being more resourceful. We're trying to be able to build on those things. But in case anybody was doubting that there was a need in our community, I hope to be able to use perhaps a special orders meeting and something else to, maybe before the budget to be able to explain more about that. Lastly, I had a great meeting. This board obviously was very fundamental in funding the solutions program. If you remember, they had lost their federal funding. The peer response team, counselors were they weren't gonna be able to keep their peer response team funded outside of the jail. So the STAR program was there to assist people with substance abuse issues, alcohol issues in the jail. And they were going to work with them, but then when they got out, there was going to be no one to work with them. This board made a decision to provide one-time funding, I think of around $350,000 to be able to keep those programs funded throughout 2026 on the condition that they work to come up with a more permanent solution or work with the county on how to best wind them down. I met with Megan today. Obviously, we're very interested in making sure that program continues. They've already secured a $50,000 grant for this year, so that's $50,000 less that they have to take, from the property tax this year. And then they have about $1.5 $4 million, I think it was, of grants there, waiting to hear on for June and July for 2027. And they're working, our public health department's been amazing at kind of helping them with on the application of grants. And I think, we'll have a better update at the 6-month, next quarter, the second quarter update on where solutions funding is, given that I think we'd all like to head into the next budget knowing a bit more, where we are. There's also a chance that for 2027, state Medicaid is reimbursing some of this type of work, but only if it's part of some term that Doug probably knows, treatment plan or something that they're not eligible for now, but we're working on it. So I don't know. Those are a couple of things.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry for putting you on the spot.
Nope.
Supervisor Bureau.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Executive Hens, a couple things. And I want to point this out particularly for newer supervisors. What you see here in these two documents did not exist a year ago. This is new stuff. So coming back to transparency in government, coming back to focusing on strategic objectives, big kudos, and again, for transparency. Now, with that said, since I like continuous improvement, I do have to offer a couple things. And that is, if you don't mind or consider, as we do this forward, please add the date. I think this is a first quarter report, because somebody looks at this 6 months from now, may not know where it came from. Okay, I have one more, so don't worry. And if you don't mind, because I'm the kind of guy that loves what our strategy is, what are those pillars?
Yeah.
Is add the page of the pillars, so we keep seeing it over and over and over, because that should be our focus as a board. And the more we see it, the more we're gonna remember it, and the more we can say, hey, that doesn't support a pillar, why are we doing that? So again, most importantly, remember the compliments on both these sheets, because again, this is tremendous information.
I appreciate the feedback, and whether it's now or what would be helpful to you, I want to take. And I apologize because I kind of burned through because I knew it was getting long. The other thing that I wanted to mention, because it's important to all of you, last week, and to Jamie and Kobe and everybody and Paul, we did our budget kickoff just for 2027 with all departments, commuting expectations, kind of our calendar, and I'll probably, get more into that later. I did mention, that I'm really asking the departments to, share how they measure effectiveness, how they measure success, how they measure efficiency, how much their table of organization has changed over time, so that we're making sure that we're targeting our investments into programs that work, and changing things that aren't. But we also will be with this board sometime in June, the end of June, updating that strategic plan, because it should be a living, breathing document that reflects the current board's needs. So for the 13 new members here, and I wasn't a part of the board that passed that strategic plan. And so Jamie had met with the consultants, I think, last week or earlier in the week, to talk about that. And we're going to try to get a date on the calendar to do that kind of workshop again, to review that process so that when we are making decisions, because I thought that was something that worked out really great last year when we were able to tie, budget decisions to, does this meet one of our strategic objectives? And I think it was, intentionally a little broader than, than we might, want it today. And I think there are a lot of new members that might have some ideas, based on that they want to bring to the table.
Thank you.
Supervisor Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I want to just thank you for all the work that the county did relating to the flooding that we experienced. Having a business and property that was impacted was certainly challenging, and to say that emotions run high when your living room carpet is a half inch away from being soaked is kind of an understatement. I would just encourage the sheriff to take a look at the emergency orders that were issued, because I found them quite confusing, and the boaters correctly interpreted them to mean 500 feet from a dwelling. All of the property owners interpreted it to mean slow no wake on the entire lakes, and they were taking pictures of the boaters, and they were calling the DNR, and I think they were calling the sheriff's department, and there was just a lot of confusion. And there's a big difference between a dwelling and a structure, so they wanted them to slow down for every deer stand that was along the river somewhere, because it was a structure, and it was just, there was a lot of emotions going on that didn't have to be. And of course, throw in the mix that there was a fishing tournament Saturday that was certainly not welcome to the property owners and so forth. So I'd like to think we could make it a little bit, there were a lot of words there and it said everything correctly, but it was interpreted several different ways and added to some confusion.
I heard from some of those same people, Supervisor Nelson, and on our calls, I know people said we weren't enforcing it. I can tell you they were out there enforcing it. It's just that, resources. They did speak to the tournament organizers, to, educate, ask people to be careful out there, given especially that, docks and other things were underwater.
Yep. And to their credit, the tournament boaters were awesome out there. They went as slow as I've ever seen tournament boats go. But of course, the guy that wasn't in the tournament that was going fast, he was blamed because they assumed he's in the tournament, and it just was a long weekend.
He was from Illinois.
There you go. Thank you.
Supervisor Bender.
Just out of curiosity, we never hear nothing about that engineering building, and we've owned that property for a year, and I believe we could probably rent that for $4,000 or $5,000 a month. We bought that separate from the campus for the engineering programs. I just don't know, maybe facilities needs to look into why we are not renting that, because right now we're paying for all the utilities, we pay for the snow plowing, we pay for the grass cutting. If we rent that, we're gonna get $4,000 or $5,000 a month and eliminate all those costs. I just think it's an avenue we should pursue.
Good point. I mean, it's a turnkey facility. I mean, that's the one part of campus that is ready to go.
Supervisor Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Looking at this spreadsheet that you did, County Executive, under Human Services, have we hired a director? Because it's not listed on here as one of the things that we should be doing. I don't know if there's any other departments that have no director, but Human Services does.
We are this week, we are doing the job announcement this week. So we are conducting the search.
So should it be on here as one of the things we should be doing, or?
No, because it's not a budget item.
The director is not a budget item?
So, I'm sorry, this is a summary of things that were done in the 2026 budget.
Okay.
Like new initiatives and things.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. No more names.
Okay, great. And then I have appointments to make. To the Board of Health, I'd like to reappoint Kate Hancock Cook, Lucas Ranke, Toby Vandenheuvel, Kim Maloof, and Denise Prang to 2-year terms expiring in April 2028.
Second,
What?
Powers.
Well, I also have, do you have to do reappointments and appointments together or separately? Separate. Oh, you guys, my bad.
But you had it under the same subject heading.
Yes, I did.
So I would have gone right along with you. Well, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And then the appointment of Shiloh Ramos, Bob Peschel, and Brenda Pluchinski to 2-year terms expiring in April 2028 to the Board of Health.
Second, Dowling.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? And present.
Okay, and then to the Human Services Board, I would like to appoint Rich Norenberg and Karen Powers to 3-year staggered terms expiring in December of 2027. And then the appointment of Carl Scholes, Rachel Dowling, and Crystal Lulks to 3-year staggered terms expiring in December 2029.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. One abstention.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And then I would like to reappoint Frank Versetto, Jim Wise, Tim Patterson, Doug Nelson, Jeremy Thull, and Howard Miller to 3-year terms expiring in April 2029 to the Solid Waste Management Board.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain.
Thank you. And then I would like the reappointment of Don Merkis to a 2-year term expiring in April 2028 to the ARPA Strategy and Outcomes Commission.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. And then I would like the appointment of Tom Snyder to a 2-year term expiring in April 2028 to the ARPA Strategies and Outcomes Commission.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. I would like to reappoint Andy Buck to a 3-year term expiring April 2029 to the Fox Valley Workforce Development Board.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. I'd like to reappoint Amberlynn Gilbertson and Karen Powers to 2-year terms on the AVOCAT Board expiring April 30th, 2028.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. I would like to reappoint Robert Schmeichel to a 2-year term to the East Central Regional, Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission expiring April 2028.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
I would like to reappoint Supervisor Howard Miller to a 2-year term expiring in April 2028 to the East Wisconsin Counties Railroad Consortium.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
And I would like to appoint Matt Woods to a 2-year term expiring December 2027 to the East Wisconsin Counties Railroad Consortium.
Make motion to approve. Kuczynski. Second. Powers.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. I would like to appoint Logan Youngbacher to a 2-year term expiring April 30th, 2028 to the Winnebago County Housing Authority.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. I would like to reappoint Lucas Reinke and Logan Fuller to 2-year terms on the Industrial Development Board expiring in April 2028.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. And I would like to appoint Supervisor Jim Ponzer to a 2-year term on the Industrial Development Board expiring in April 2028.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. I would like to appoint Supervisor Brenda Pluchinski to a 2-year term on the expiring in December 2027 to the Local Emergency Planning Committee.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
And I would like to appoint Supervisor Carl Scholes to the 3-year term expiring in April 2029 to the Aging and Disability Resource Center Commission.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Executive Hens. Okay, I have a couple of items under the County Board Chair's report. Tom Egan and Supervisor Egan and Supervisor Gustafson are excused for this evening. I wanted to mention that when the dust settles just a little bit, I'll be setting up office hours, which I'll notify everybody when they are, when I can fit them into the schedule. It'll be on the third floor up in the Dave Albrecht building. I'll, again, keep you informed as I figure that one out. Beginning next month, we will be changing the invocation agenda item. Supervisor Powers has done a wonderful job, and I'm looking to add a rotation basis so we can spread it around a little bit. So, again, Supervisor Powers will be finishing this month, which, thank you for tonight's invocation. And then Supervisor O'Brien, Bettine, and Keach will be joining in that four-person rotation. So it'll be month after month. I'd kind of like, as you all know, I mean, Supervisor O'Brien filled in for Supervisor Powers during one of the meetings over the course of the last year, and it got me thinking that, you know, it would be nice to hear from different people. You know, the bar that Supervisor Powers set is going to be adhered to, which is it's non-denominational, it's spiritual, it's uplifting, and it's nonpartisan. So what more can you ask for? I have talked to all four of the supervisors, and they're excited to join the group. I hope you get a chance to talk to each other and share stories if you want. But the rotation will be, next month will be Supervisor O'Brien, and then following him in June will be Supervisor Bettine, and then in July will be Supervisor Keach. I also wanted to mention a couple of things as it relates to you know, some of the things I would like to do or accomplish as your county board chair. You know, reiterating what I had said last week, which is, you know, we really need to focus on county issues. That's our job. We need to make sure that we're hyper-focused on what we can do to make the county better. Another one of the things I'd like to really encourage, especially some of the newer supervisors, take advantage of the Wisconsin Counties Association, their monthly calls. They're from 11 to noon. You're going to get a boatload of information and I see you shaking your head because they are really awesome. Our attorney for the WCA, Andy Phillips, is a spellbinder. And he will go nonstop without notes. I mean, it's an absolutely incredible thing to see and to hear. But again, in your packets, I forget if they were last week or maybe the orientation, but the WCA has got their, whether it's their seminars, district meetings, annual conference, avail yourself of that, and we'll make sure that hopefully we'll have the budget dollars available, because it all comes out of the county board's budget. And also what I'd like to do is try and get piggyback onto what Executive Hintz had last week, which was your Youth Government Day, where you brought a lot of the department heads. I've had experience meeting with a lot of the civic organizations in various communities, and that's also a good way to get out there and talk a little bit more about county level government, because we all know nobody seems to know what we do, and I'm going to try and get out there and do a little bit of education as best as possible. And then obviously I'm always accessible, so don't hesitate to give me a call and let me know what's on your mind. Lastly, the special orders meeting for next week will be canceled, so there will not be a special orders meeting. Am I missing anything? Yeah. Okay. Now we'll move into the county board chair's appointments. And we have one, which is the appointment of Vice Chairman Conley Hansen to the ARPA Strategy and Outcomes Commission. I touched base with Supervisor Egan on that one because I wanted to find out, how did you approach this? And he said, well, the vice chair was interested in it. And so the vice chair was interested in it, and I'm thereby appointing him. So I would make a motion to appoint Vice Chairman Conley Hansen to the ARPA Strategy and Outcomes Commission.
Second, Patterson.
Thank you. Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. One abstention. Okay, we will move on into the confirmation of standing committee board supervisor appointments. You have on your desk, it looks like a Green Bay Packer, yes. We're not at L yet, though.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the L is, okay, when the committees will come up here. So if you're looking at the green and yellow, these are the standing committee members that were picked out by our Committee on Committees. This consisted of myself, Vice Chair Hansen, Supervisor Gabbard, Supervisor Bureau, and Supervisor Buck. But stapled on top of that, you're going to see in writing that there was a change from our Friday meeting, and we essentially ratified it prior to this county board meeting here tonight. And it was due to, I missed the rule in the rule book that called for the Planning and Zoning Committee requiring at least one, but no more than two members who are from an incorporated area. Well, we had three. So I called the supervisors, Supervisor Woods and Peschel, and asked if they would be willing to swap. And I'm very pleased that they were more than willing to do that after we talked through it. So you can just cross out Matt Woods on the Highway Committee and insert Supervisor Peschel, and then you can do just the opposite on the Planning and Zoning Committee. Then I would also take a moment to apologize to Supervisor Dowling, because I was under the impression when we were talking, and I am going to be appointing you as my East Central Wisconsin permanent designee, that was in lieu of a committee assignment. So if I misunderstood that, I apologize for that. Okay, so I would entertain a motion that we approve the recommendations from the Committee on Committee of the 9 standing committees on the county board.
So moved.
Is there a second of that?
Second, Patterson.
Okay, discussion. Actually, if I may, I do want to point out something. Can I do that, or do I have to step down now? Sorry about that. I was trying to get this done first, but what I wanted to do was lay out some of the parameters or the filters that we were trying to follow when you looked at all of the different folks that were on the committee. I mean, the supervisors. There was one item that was important, and that was that at least everybody had one committee. And obviously I failed on that one. But the other one was to make sure that we were creating opportunities for new members of the board. I have heard an awful lot from people that, we need to get everybody time to get up to speed. And, you know, it's like we're putting a ceiling on top of people as opposed to letting them excel in their job. I mean, after all, we were all elected, and somehow we got ourselves elected. So it was important to make sure that that was one of our considerations. Another one that it was weighted, and that is a number of supervisors had only one choice. And we tried our best to make sure that that one choice was honored. And I would like to point out something that I found kind of interesting. There were 17% of supervisors out of 35. I didn't count myself because I'm not on a committee. For people who had two choices, it was 29%. For those that had 3 and 4, it was 54%. So 3 was 34, 4 was 20%. That right there, if we were to follow that dynamic, we would have had a ton of folks with a number of committees, and we would have ended up with a lot of folks with 0 committees. And I didn't find that fair and objective. We did end up with 11 supervisors with double committee assignments. The other thing we looked at, and I want to commend the clerk staff, because when they put together all this information from all 36 of us, they were color coding things, which made it a lot easier for us to take a look at how best we could compile this information. And as I looked at would have been the 4th iteration of trying to slot people following these guidelines or filters, if you look across, as a county board, not committee by committee, but there is a fair balance between the amount of experience that's on the boards and the new group coming in, on balance. So the problem with that is we couldn't guarantee we couldn't guarantee that your 1, 2, and 3 choices were going to be accepted, basically, or honored. It was, when you start putting all of these filters together, there's a lot of moving around of pieces. And, when you see that first page where we had to make that change, the nice part about that is the supervisors were willing to make that change, because as I was looking at other possibilities, it started to unravel the balance that we were looking for. So the other thing is, I did have a conversation with the county executive, because I knew he had a bunch of appointments to the committees, boards, and commissions. And I was hoping that together we would be able to find some level of balance in balancing the workload. And hopefully we've achieved that. But I wanted to point that out. Thank you. Supervisor Peschel.
Sure. Thank you, Chairman Seto. My question, well, I'm one of those people that put 4 on there because there was 4 lines on the paper. It wasn't because I actually wanted to serve on 4 committees. It's because that's how many lines were there. And I don't know that it was, I'd have to go back and look at it to find out how clear it is to indicate whether you should fill up the lines or whether you only fill up what you want to do or any of that stuff. But in my memory, I did it really quickly. So thanks to the clerk's office for that, actually. But again, there was 4 spots there, and most times you put 4 spots in front of someone, and 90% of the time they're going to fill it up. So I would like you or any member of the Committee on Committees to share the insight around the determination of who got to serve on 2 committees. So, and before you do that, I'd like to acknowledge that yes, we also have the opportunity to sit on boards and commissions and to be appointed to that as well. But these committees are absolutely parts of our ability to serve and represent our districts that we're elected by. So it's absolutely important that there is I'm not going to say fair, I'm going to say balanced representation that takes place here. And so the question, when I look at this list, what's most important to me is how did you determine who got 2 committees and how others got 1?
Right now, I'm just taking comments. I tried to lay out the objectives and what our framework was. So I'm going to just state your case, and then I'm going to move on to the next person on the list.
So then, point of order, I would have liked that opportunity to ask that question while you were speaking to the body. And we were not afforded that ability then. So.
Okay. Supervisor Laux.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do we end up voting on this?
You confirm the appointments, so this is
Okay.
what the chair has made based on recommendations that he received from the Committee on Committees, and then you either approve it or don't approve it.
Okay. So, I guess I'm just really disappointed that I was not put on Land and Water, as I was the most active member of Land and Water. I attended regional meetings and state meetings. I was also the liaison with a number of people at the DNR, at the community, and the Land and Water Committee about the Round Goby. And I was working with Assemblyman Lori Palmieri on a bunch of groundwater issues. And so I will be voting against these committee assignments.
Supervisor Hancock Cook.
Thank you, Chairman Frisetto. I was just checking in on, how many had 2 assignments as we all, looked at that. And it's surprising to me that a brand-new elected person got 2 assignments, as opposed to, we might be spreading out the experience or something. That seems surprising to me. And I wonder if any of the people who have 2 assignments would be willing to give one up for Supervisor Dowling to have an assignment. Oh, 2 newly elected.
Supervisor Nelson. That's okay. Supervisor Dowling?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate Supervisor Peschel's comments. The Committee on Committees meeting was recorded if you want to watch it. I don't think that that's an easy task to have. Not a reason I volunteered to be in that room. And yes, if you don't want your committee assignment, feel free to give me a call or text message. You can do that after the committees pick out their times, though. I'll leave it at that.
Supervisor Buck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As a member of the Committee on Committees, I will echo Supervisor Dowling's statement. This wasn't an easy process. It was a little humbling, I guess I would add. I will also be voting no on this, and this was stated, but I'm going to state this another time. In the past, while the first time I got on the board, there was Mary Beth Gabbert said this. There were also supervisors that didn't have any appointments. We echoed, that saying, hey, every supervisor should get a appointment to a committee. Hopefully, we can right the wrong of Supervisor Dowling. But the fact of the matter that we have new supervisors that have 2 appointments. I heard that through many different conversations that the facility and property management is the most important committee in these next couple of years. I agree with that, and that wasn't reflected in who was picked to the committee. Some of you will find out there is a learning curve to being on the county board, and there's I'm not going to say time wasted, but the taxpayers are paying us, and so I think the only one that is going to be losing out how this currently stands is the taxpayers of Winnebago County, because we're going to be wasting time on things. We have experienced supervisors that I would have picked, but the chairman is a tough position. He did say, hey, I have the ultimate authority here, and I can pick who I choose, and that's what happened. So thank you very much.
I didn't see it on my list. Supervisor Bender, sorry about that.
I'd just like to echo, I've been on the UW Extension Committee for 8 years, chairman for 4. I could hardly believe it when my name got taken off that committee. And I had my third pick, the Land and Water. So if they wanted to take me off of Personnel Finance, there's nobody on that committee that's got more than 2 years. 2 people have 2 years experience. There's all kinds of parts to UW Extension. I couldn't believe it when, you take a chairman off a committee and yet you give a brand new supervisor 2 committees. I watched the meeting, and it was basically nothing like I've ever seen before. Normally they go through each one and they make recommendations. This was all set up. They got a slip of paper, this is where you're going, and there was 3-2. So it really didn't matter. I will be voting no. I think this is basically a joke.
Supervisor Hanson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It was stated at the very beginning of the Committee on Committee meetings that obviously there will be some that are happy, some that are not happy, and I think the words were even say there might even be some I told you so's. It is not a perfect process, but it is the process that we have. If you're considering voting no, I actually urge you to reconsider that, because if you vote no and this is squashed, then the board has no say whatsoever. It defaults to the chairman. And I ask respectfully that you please don't put that mantle on him. Or would you have put that on Chairman Ramos or on a Chairman Egan? That is going to cause a far greater division, quite possibly. So I would respectfully ask that you reconsider a no vote because you did or didn't get what you wanted. I stated in a previous meeting, there was a time that I didn't get a single thing I wanted, but I still voted yes, because that's just what you do. There were appointments that were made by the county executive that I didn't agree with, but I still voted yes. Because at some point you either play on the team or just don't be on the team. Again, please don't put that on the chair. I cannot impugn his motives at all, and I got no indication that there was any sense of unfairness at all. I think you know me well enough, or some of you know me well enough that I would call that out if I saw it. Didn't matter who it is, whether that was Executive Hintz, Executive Damel. I put on my boxing gloves with all of them. Chairman Egan, the same. I would ask that you please reconsider that, because the alternative is that he makes every appointment. Thank you.
Supervisor Peschel, second time.
Thank you, Chairman Frasetto. To me, it's not about whether I vote yes or vote no here. It's about representation across the board and across the county and the process of how we get there. That's what's really important to me. For me, I get that the chairman has the ability to make those determinations and those appointments, but the chairman also has the ability to be a bridge builder throughout that process, and I also recognize that it's a short amount of time that you have to make in order to do this. And so I do appreciate the call that you gave, and I think the really important thing here is that none of us, whether we vote yes or no today, Doesn't mean that we're not willing to serve in whatever capacity we are put in. But we as individual, nonpartisan leaders of this body have the ability to voice our concerns about a process and representation. And that's what this is about. So, again, my phone is always on. At no matter time, I will take calls from anyone and everyone. And so I thank you for the engagement in the process, but I think it's really important that we recognize that this is about representation.
Thank you. Supervisor Bureau.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This question is actually directed to corporate counsel. Please walk through the two scenarios. One is we vote on this, and we vote in the affirmative yay, and it carries. What happens if we vote, that the majority of the vote is nay? What's next?
Testing? Okay. Your rules contemplate the second scenario as well as the first. 3.10 specifically says the board shall officially approve all committee members by a majority vote of those present. So you would need a majority vote. Rule 3.13 says, after the organization meetings, should a committee vacancy occur or the need arises to adjust a standing committee, then as Vice Chair Hansen said, the rules say then the county board chair shall make appointments to fill the vacancy or adjust the committee's membership. So you as a body have a right to say yes or no in terms of the committee appointments that were presented to you. And if you say no, which you have every right to, because again, the rules contemplated, then the ball goes back to Chairman Frassetto's court.
Great, thank you.
Supervisor Renke.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I actually have a follow-up question to that, if you don't mind, Madam Corp Counsel. When the county board chair makes appointments, are they or are they not subject to board approval?
Right, well, based on your rules here, they are subject to board approval.
So he would then be responsible for making all of the board or the committee appointments, and then those committee appointments would then be subject to board approval, if I understand that correctly?
Typically, yes, that is correct.
Thank you.
I don't see any other names. Okay. Oh, yeah, sure. We're going to vote, yes, I'm sorry. Supervisor Gabbert. Yeah.
I have been on the county board now, this will be my 10th term and my last term, okay? And I put on the paper that I wanted to remain on the 3 committees because of my experience. That has something to say about me. I was taken off of Parkview, and I got upset Friday morning about that. So I will say I'm settled down now, and I am only on 2 committees. But the people who are on Parkview, I felt were good representation of new people or old people coming back to Parkview, and they will take good care of Parkview. I feel like Parkview is part of me now that I've been around so long. So I'm only on 2 committees, but I am a person that put down 3. I thought I was not asking much, but the new people on the county board, some of you would have been without a committee. So I stepped back and said, okay, but I was very angry on Friday about losing that committee. And I still am a little sore about losing it. But I am glad that there are new people or people returning who will watch out for Parkview. And I hope you will do a good job to be on that committee. So in the end, we took a vote and we voted to approve the people that we had assigned. Most of the work had been filtered by Chairman Presetto, but we could vote yes or no on Friday, and we had to make one change, and I do thank Supervisor Peschel and Supervisor Wood for saying yes, they would do anything, they would change being on one committee. That's what we're here for, is to all work together and represent the whole county, not just our wishes. So I just want to tell you that I am one of the people that wrote down 3, but we'll move on and be happy you got on a committee. If you're not happy, don't be on that committee. Call and say, I don't want to be on that, but you will learn a lot by being on a committee. So that is what Chairman Presetto was looking at. Some of you have no idea. When I got on a long time ago, I was green. I did not know. I learned what I know by listening and by being on a committee. And I didn't have a committee the first term. And here I sat. What do? I listened. I went to meetings, and so I've spoken my piece. So I'm going to vote yes.
Thank you, Supervisor Gabbard. Supervisor Ponzer.
Yes. Just so I got this right, there was a mistake made and Rachel did not get on any committees. So if we vote no, that would give you a chance of correcting that? Okay, explain it to me.
The mistake was not with Supervisor Dowling. I would call it a misunderstanding because I was asking her to serve on a committee that I'm automatically on, and she would serve in my stead, which was the committee that she would get. It wasn't one of the 9 standing committees.
Okay, I thought, good enough. My mistake.
Supervisor Plachinsky.
Thank you, Chairman Presetto. I'm newer on the board, but I guess I've been on here longer than the newly elected supervisors. I was appointed back in July. When I was appointed, I also was put on Parkview Health Center Committee. And at that time, wasn't my choice. It wasn't something that I was 100% interested in, but I took it on, and I learned a lot about Parkview. Actually enjoy working with the people there, and even though I've been on it only for 10 months, I've learned a lot, but there's a lot left to learn. One thing I learned being on that committee is to ask a lot of questions and also to speak with the people that are in charge of Parkview, if it's on Parkview or whatever other committee you're on. Ask for a tour, speak with the administrators that are in charge, do what you can to get used to it and to try to understand as best as you can. When I became a supervisor, the other thing I wanted to do is I don't just come and research what's handed out to us for the county board meeting. I will watch every single committee meeting, and I try to understand all the other committees and all the other parts of the county, how they work. Even though I'm not on the aviation committee, I feel like I could have worked on that one, and I do enjoy keeping up, watching the meetings, staying in tune to what's going on. It's just part of my responsibility as a county supervisor because we're just not paid to come to this meeting and vote on things. We're paid to understand what's going on as the county as a whole. So I did go to the committee on committee meeting on Friday in person because I thought it was important, and you know, I kind of felt like a kid, you know, back in elementary school waiting to be picked for a team. Was I happy with? I was one. First of all, I want to point out I was one of the people that put on 4 committees because I would have taken 4 committees if they were given to me. That's how I feel right now in life, and I enjoy working on the county board. Sorry, can I continue, or you want me to stop? Is that for me? Okay. Continue. Okay, and I wasn't 100% happy because I kind of wanted to be on at least 2, Parkview and Personnel and Finance. I got put on Personnel and Finance. Like Mary Beth said, took me a while to come to terms with how I was put in the committees, and then also my appointments by the county executive. But I look at it as an opportunity to learn something new. It's not where I would have put myself, but I am here to serve my constituents and also all the residents of the county and do the best job I can with what I've been given. And that is all I have to say.
Thank you very much. I have no more names. Did you want to go again? Okay, nope. Okay, we'll have a roll call vote on the committee structure.
Nope, no, I've got her votes. Okay, there's been a question. When you're voting this vote, it's for all the committees. It's not by a single committee. It's the whole list that you were given.
So what Julie is referring to is we're voting on the entire list of the committees. Afterward, on the agenda, each of the committees, starting with UW Extension, will convene to vote for their chair, their vice chair, and their secretary. And because we have some supervisors who are on double committees, we're not going to do it all at once. I think it's going to follow last year's process, or
Okay,
2 years ago process.
My question was, are you going to put up for vote separately the Aviation Committee, the Facilities Committee? You are doing all of this.
That's,
for-
yeah, when I referenced this right here, this is the slate of supervisors for the 9 standing committees. Thank you. Yep, I was, right.
Supervisor Ramos, can I have your vote? Okay, and then Supervisor Nornberg. If you push the save button. It didn't come through.
He said yes.
Oh, he said yes.
Thumbs up.
Passed.
Thank you, everybody. We will now move on into the next section of the agenda. So for those members who are on the extension,
Nope.
Nope.
thank you. Okay.
One of the two new board members who were placed in the activities is a new member with 2 committee appointments.
Yeah.
Supervisor Dowling and put it in before L, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Are there any pullouts of this? Any other resolutions? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay. Now we will move on to the election of the standing committee officers and next meeting dates. The University of Wisconsin Extension, so Amberlynn Gilbertson, Lucas Ranke, Crystal Laux, Tim Macho, and Tanya Keach. Where do you normally have everybody?
Point of information. I just wanted to remind everyone that according to Rule 18.7, the meetings are assumed to be 3 o'clock p.m. If it wants to be earlier than that, it has to be unanimously agreed upon.
I had a feeling she was going to bring that one up. Who did?
I know where all the chairs are. They're in that room. Should we go get chairs? Should we get them chairs? Should we get them chairs?
Are they big ones?
They're big.
They shouldn't take that much time.
Would this be a time that if your committee's not being looked at for several down, could we go to use the ladies' room or the gentleman's room?
If you're late,
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I am going to announce that there's one thing I forgot before, that, I'm sorry, on your desk tonight, there's a slip with a bus on it. It's for the county board tour that happens on May 18th. We need to know if you plan to attend or not, so that we can make all the arrangements we need to. Thank you.
appreciate it.
Who's vice chair? Amber is secretary, and you're vice chair?
So for Land and Water, I will be the chair. Crystal Laux will be vice chair. Or, sorry, not Land and Water.
Hold on,
UW
everybody.
Extension. We were talking about Land and Water. My mistake. UW Extension, I'll be chair. Crystal Laux will be vice chair. And Amberlynn Gilbertson will be secretary.
Nice.
Our first meeting will be at 6 o'clock on the third Wednesday of May. Thereafter, it will be at 4 o'clock every third Wednesday of May. All set? Thank you.
Okay, could we have the Aviation Committee come up and select their chairs? That would be Supervisor Gabbard. Yeah, absolutely, whatever is most convenient for the Aviation Committee.
For Aviation Committee, if I may have everybody's attention, please. For the Aviation Committee, I am speaking on behalf of the newly elected chairman of the Aviation Committee, which would be Mary Beth Gabbert. Myself, John Hinz, I am going to be the vice chairman, and Kason Frisetto is the secretary. And we will be meeting on the first Wednesday of every month, but our as per usual, but our meetings have been moved to 3 p.m. instead of being at 8 a.m. Thank you.
Okay, could we have the Facilities and Property Management Committee gather up? That would be Supervisor Buck, Hintz, Wise, Moonen, and Rosano.
Oh, shucks. If only they had a reliable member who had gone to every meeting last term. Shucks.
Okay, we've got another committee report coming in.
For Facilities and Property Management Committee, I was elected chairman again. Andy Buck was elected vice chairman, and Devin Moonen is the secretary. And because of Memorial Day, we are not going to meet on our normal fourth Tuesday of the month. Next month in May, we are going to meet on the third Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. at the Facilities Building. Got that? 20th. Just for this month. And going forward after that meeting, then it will be back to our fourth Tuesday meeting. 3:30. And then the rest of them after that.
Okay, the next committee up will be the Planning and Zoning Committee. Supervisors Miller, Gabbard, Woods, Spohr, McCartney. Oh, you're already there. Thanks. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, if there are committees that have finished, rather than going in order, we've got a couple where there's no duplicates, so we're already having multiple committees meeting. If you have finished, go ahead and hop up there and give your report.
Okay, Parkview met. They are meeting the third Thursday of every month at 10 a.m. Chairman Powers was elected as the chair, Supervisor Ramos as vice chair, and Supervisor Schulte as secretary.
I have to look where I put in the box. Oh, that's okay, I've got 2 months and no salary. So I'm not gonna show up. I had 2 months and no Leslie. I had 2 months and no Leslie. Come on in.
Okay.
Am I ready to go? Okay. The Planning and Zoning Committee, the chairman will be myself, Howard Miller. Vice chairman is Mary Beth Gabbert. And the secretary is Dean Spur. What else do I need? Okay, our normal meetings are on Friday, usually the first Friday at 7:30 a.m. Yeah.
Okay, Highway Committee. Highway Committee, my name is Tim O'Brien. I'll be chairing the Highway Committee. Vice Chair is Bob Peschel. The Secretary is Brian No. The first meeting will be May 26th, Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. The subsequent meetings will be the fourth Monday at 4:30 p.m. The Ertmer Room.
I'm Steve Binder. I got the Personnel and Finance. Our first meeting will be 5/4 at 3:30. That's a Monday. I'll be the chair, Steve Binder. The vice chair will be George Brewer, and the secretary will be Brenda Polanski.
Are you guys coming along? Attention, please.
The Judiciary and Public Safety meeting has been set. The chair will be myself, Supervisor Hanson. Vice Chair will be George Barreau. Secretary will be Tim Patterson. We will maintain our first meeting this next Monday at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Supervisor Nelson, is land and water, are you guys done? Do you want to come up and report it?
That way you can see, okay, put up there, you can see it. I could never see.
Hi, Tim Macho with Land Conservation Committee. I will be the chairman, Andy Buck as vice chair, and Tanya Kish will be secretary. We'll meet first Mondays at 3 in the afternoon.
All right. Okay, all the committees have done their work. Chairs, vice chairs, secretaries, and dates and times of meetings. If we can return to our seats, we'll finish this agenda. Nice job, thanks. I know, that's why I'm moving quick. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats so we can finish this meeting before we have to take a break and bring you back for another 2 minutes. Right, but who's got the resolution? It's not coming up for me. Who's got the resolution for the accommodation? Oh, Julie, sure.
It's mine?
Yeah.
I have to read it.
Yes.
If I could, I would like to motion to strike Rule 1.3 for tonight. That's the rule that requires us to take a break at the 2.5-hour mark, considering we are 5 minutes away.
We will be done before 8:30. Yeah, it's 8:18 right now. We'll be done. Okay. Well, Okay, believe it or not, this resolution, accommodation of Paula Way, was put together by the Personnel and Finance Committee on a 5-0 vote. So,
Ask Supervisor Bender.
yeah, so Supervisor Bender, you want to take that? You want to move it? Would you introduce it? Would you introduce the commendation resolution for Paula Way?
Oh, I don't have it.
That's okay, it's in your packet. Yes, I am sure.
I'll move the resolution for the commendation from Paula Way. Paula Way was an employee of Winnebago County Human Service Department for the past 39 years, and during that time, most conscientious and devoted county employee. Paula has now retired those duties, and appropriately for the Winnebago County Supervisor acknowledge her years of service. Now therefore be it resolved, Winnebago County Board of Supervisors sincerely appreciate the commendation to extend Paula Way in the fine services she's rendered for Winnebago County. Be it further resolved that Winnebago County send a copy of this resolution to Paula.
Is there a second? Second, Powers. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Can I read the commendation quick? That we.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just going to read the commendation quick. In May 1985, Paula began working in the Personnel and Payroll Department as a co-op student from Oshkosh West. She was officially hired in 1989 with Department of Community Programs as a front desk receptionist. Shortly thereafter, DCP and Social Services Departments merged into one Human Services Department. Her next role was an accountant 1992 to 1997. In 1998, her current position was created as project specialist, managing data systems, supporting system end users, system analytics, software enhancement, and security administrator. Paula has dedicated 40 years of exceptional service demonstrating unwavering commitment, professionalism, and technical expertise. Paula has been instrumental in the management, implementation, and support of enterprise applications, ensuring data integrity and consistent service delivery across the department. She's been a trusted resource providing thoughtful guidance, responsive troubleshooting, and innovative solutions. We express our sincere gratitude and appreciation for her years of dedicated service and outstanding contributions.
Thank you very much, County Clerk Bartles. Do we have any business items, resolutions, or ordinances? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn? Thank you. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Adjourned. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Your bus tour thing.